You know, it's cool. You know, I'm not, but I still have a lot of respect and love for it because I feel at the core, it's like the spirit of it is so still vibrating through me. You know,
What's it like handling, like for instance, one of the records before this was Walk Together, Rock Together, and the other one was The Crew. You've done Circle Jerks and stuff like that. Like, you are handling these gateway records for a lot of people that got them, like, that kind of created all this. I mean, I know that punk has been an idea for forever, well before the 70s, but I'm saying musically, when we think of first wave, we think of a lot of the bands that Trust has put out.
yeah, but I think Trust is going to do more than that. Like one of the things Trust got to be careful of is being an old '80s
First wave.
Yeah, like rock. I think you'll see us in the next couple of years push into '90s, early 2000s. We might push into. We'll keep the core because the spirit of our label is preservation of this culture that we're a part of. But we might push, like, next year, because of we own 51% of BYO. Hepcat, the band, is a really cool traditional ska band. They were on BYO in the early 90s. They had a record called Scientific. It's a great record. That record will come out in the summer via us. And so, like, even like this Fishbone stuff, like, we're not putting out Fishbone records, but we kind of have this thought in the summer of, like, you know what? We should celebrate Fishbone, do a merch drop with them, do a mix CD, kind of dabbing, because it all touches, like, even hip hop touches hardcore and punk rock. It's all like there's a real connectivity to some of these genres because they were all underground at the time. Like, it took hip hop and rap was like, the powers that be like fucking laughed at it up into, some of the, even if you think about it, it wasn't even recognized at the Grammys until like the early 90s. It wasn't even considered music. Think about that, dude. Like, that is fucking, and I'm telling you right now, no one's considering hardcore music at the Grammys at the same time. So there's a real kinship to punkers and hip hop guys. And I look at it, it's like, it's youth rebellion. The hip hop guys are rebelling from the cities. The punk rock hardcore kids are rebelling from the suburbia. I'm not here saying that fucking suburbia had it rougher than the cities. I know it didn't, but I'm just saying in spirit, there's a rebellion. There's people in their environment looking around at kids going, this sucks. I'm not only part of this, and finding music as a way to fucking to counter it.
What is next? So you have Hepcat.
The next record, so the SSD's coming out. We're gonna catch our breath because it's been we kind of really cleared the table for the last several months of this year because SSD was all that mattered to us. About it was like being handed like something so precious and valuable that was so emotionally and spiritually attached to a single individual, which is Al Baril. So to have that handed over and trust with, like, I didn't sleep so many nights. There's nights I just wake up 3 a.m, wide awake, panicking, like, oh fuck, is the art right? Because even like on this art, is this in the frame?
Yeah.
So Brian Ray Turcotte, who's been just a fucking awesome dude to work with, a well-known graphic artist and archivist, and you can find him on. He took there was no one else who could touch this record but him, because he got it. And he got that this had to be an exhibit because it hadn't been anyone's collection. It's go trading for 2,000 plus on Discogs. We wanted to make this record true to the original as much as we can. There's some little things like Trust instead of Discord here, but if you look at it, the way Al laid out this record in the beginning, which is cut and paste and fucking, I think things are crooked a little bit. They go over the bleed, so it was stressful because when Brian laid it out, we wanted to make sure that if you look at the kids on the stage, we want to make sure it's as true to be. Like, it's going to be imperfect. It's going to be a little off. When you look at the back, if you really study it, we had to sneak in some new information. It's like fonts from the day. There's weird spacing and stuff. There's letters that we dropped a little bit, so it was honored, so it's not perfect. And we got so much pushback from the plants because they were like, hey, this is wrong. This is going over the bleed line. And Brian's like, leave it. It's got to go to the bleed. No, it'll print wrong. It's going to print to the edge. We wanted to print to the edge. But then we have this panic of like, fuck, dude. What if it prints? What happens is the L's like cut in half? Like, how bad could it be? You know what I mean? So those are the thoughts that kept me awake. And then also, like, like I said, you're being handed something very valuable. So that's a lot of pressure and weight on your shoulders because you're just you're so worried about fucking it up. You're just so worried about letting someone down. You're so worried about what if it comes out and we don't sell, it doesn't sell well and no one cares and the press doesn't pick it up. What if it's a fucking, it's meaningless really. That'll be so disappointing and heartbreaking for the guys in this band that trusted us, which would be heartbreaking for Matt and I, because that's why we're here. So the fact that it fucking crushed, okay, you can fucking breathe easy.
So it was...
The next record's Stall Like 13. That's to answer your question.
Okay, wait. We're going to
In
talk
control.
about that. So it wasn't any, because you said this is a straight repress, you didn't do any of the bells and whistles that you did on, so that didn't make it any easier.
No, because there's thought going on. First off, those records are really expensive to make. And any artist we work with, we want to see whatever their vision is for their art fulfilled. So we try to, DFL had a different idea. They did great with it. With SSD, Al, he's so funny. I went to Coachella weekend one, and I sat in Paul Tollett, who runs Coachella. Ian MacKay comes out with his family every year, and they stay with Paul and do Coachella. Ian's a music lover. His kid's 14 or 15 now, so he wants to go see music. But I sought out Ian's advice, and I sat down with him, and I was like, hey, man, we're in a weird place as a label because we have this SSD record. We don't really want to put much more in it. We can't figure out what to put in it because there's a thought that's hey, we're supposed to be just doing straight historical work. We're changing it a little bit with 7 seconds and stuff. We're taking the 7 seconds from the outside. It was a gatefold. And I don't want to do that with SSD, and Al doesn't want to do that. But I'm stressed that people start thinking that trust is this. And, I don't want to pigeonhole us into a thing, and blah, blah. It was just all this fucking panic shit. And Ian's been such a good friend to me since I started this label. He just was yeah, you just do it like this. You do it a straight repress. You shouldn't do what you're doing is cool, but you don't have to do it. You know what I mean? And that was okay, yeah, you're right. We don't have to do that because and SSD is the perfect record to break our mold. It's really 7.5, but it's really the 8th record we've put out. We could do that because people would want it like that. And then so far, no one's got it, but I can't see anyone complaining. At the end of the day, they've got a fucking pretty cool looking record and they can have in their collection. And then that's not to say Stall Like 13 is going to be a gatefold with an oral history, a bunch of shit thrown in, which is cool. That's what they want. We want that for them. But as we move into the future, things will be different.
And this record had been out of press. That the kids will have their station. So I'm saying you were...
Yeah, it'd been out of press for 41 years. So it's
giving people back something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's that there was real hours of conversations with guys like Ian and Brian Ray and Al and all these dudes of Matt Pincus and Sam Sigler works with us. How do we do this? Do we really just put this out straight? Because everyone's whoa, can't we see the booklet? I've had some of those. What's the booklet like? Well, there's no booklet. It's this. I hope that's good enough.
Well, that's the thing is people want that record.
Yeah.
And they're not, yeah.
And there's tricks in it, Brian's hid some little Easter eggs in it. So it's got some cool shit. And then also, but yeah, as we move forward, the next record is Stall Like 13. That'll be a gatefold in the spirit of the 7 second stuff. Then I think we go right into SSD's Get It Away, which will be more like this. And then we're into the summer, 7 seconds New Wind, which has got a surprise of a lifetime coming for people. Cannot wait to share it. And then we're into Hepcat World, and then we're off. We should have 8 records out next year. And some pretty surprises, a couple curveballs towards the end of the year.
Releases.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to tell, maybe...
I'm not saying shit on fucking Orange County Hardcore Chronicles or whatever this thing's called. What's your show called?
Orange County Hardcore Scenester Aftermath.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, that's how it is. Can we get ice out?
We should.
Can we get ice? Can we get the new N-Swell thing?
Can I just? So we're kind of the conversation's deteriorating because you're starting talking about this garbage.